Hello everyone. Today we are going to explain importance of carbon in biologically important molecules. We know all living organisms which are composed of different type of materials in the body, and these various materials either in the form of organic or inorganic substances, among which all organic substances or biomolecules which are containing a carbon or a chains of carbon or the backbones of the carbon to form most of the biomolecules such as proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, nucleic acids. So whatever the biomolecules, organic molecules or the substances present in the body of living organisms, including plants, animals or microorganisms, containing the important component of these biomolecules containing carbon or the carbon chains. So most of the molecules which are formed are composed of backbones of the carbon. So carbon is very important atom or the element present in the biologically important molecules which are responsible for the formation or the building of the living organisms together with their functions. So carbon is having a symbol capital C, atomic number 6, atomic weight 12.01, electronic configuration 2s2 2p2, and it shows several physical and chemical properties such as it can be a solid, it can have a solid physical state at 20 degrees centigrade or 68 degree Fahrenheit. So the carbon appears to be in a solid state at a 20 degrees centigrade. Then it shows weakly acidic properties, weakly acidic properties of higher valence oxides. Then it can form a crystal structure. It can form hexagonal crystal structure due to presence of four valence electrons in the outer shell or the orbit of the carbon, and thus can form four different bonds with other molecules or other atoms to form a organic molecule or the biomolecule. So this is what about some of the important physical and chemical properties of the carbon which enable it to form a backbone of the carbon or the chains of the carbon either in the form of chains or the ring structures together with formation of covalent bonds or hydrogen bonds, may be a single bond, double bond, or triple bond to form a complex biomolecules due to the four valence electrons or uh, unstable outer shell with four valence electrons which are capable of its binding with other atoms to form a complex biomolecules in the living organism. So carbon is very important element uh, in the living organisms so as to build the entire body of living organisms or various cellular components of the living organisms so as to function differently with the help of these complex molecules of the organic molecules or the substances such as proteins, fats, carbohydrates, or the nucleic acids. In a slide, we can see the electronic configuration of the carbon. In the center, we can see the 6 plus 6 white and 6 red circles or the spheres representing 6 protons and 6 neutrons in the center as a nucleus. 6 protons and 6 neutrons present in the center of the carbon molecule or carbon atom representing a core or the nucleus of the carbon. In first cell there are two electrons, and in a second or outer cell there are four valence electrons. So this is representing the structure or a formula representing the electronic configuration of the carbon. In the center, the same figure, that is representing the symbol of the carbon, capital C, atomic number 6, atomic mass or atomic weight, that is 12.01, and the element name is a carbon. A carbon can form bonds with itself. So carbon can form bonds with itself because of presence of four valence electron in the outer cell. So it can bind, the carbon itself can form a bond, covalent bond or a hydrogen bond with it, and forming a complex molecule of the different atoms, or a combination of the different atoms together with the carbon, or can form a carbon chains or the rings in the form of backbone of the carbon. So carbon can form bonds with itself, and carbon is most important element in a living things, that is plants, animals or microorganisms, because of its special properties. Since it is having special properties, that is four valence electrons in the outer cell, and it can form a covalent bond or the hydrogen bond with itself or with other atoms, and thus it is very important component of the all living organisms, that is plants, animals or the different organisms in the nature. So carbon is most important element in living things, all living organisms, because of its special properties. When animals eat plants, they get carbon. So source of the carbon for the animal is a food. Source of the carbon for the animals is a food in the form of plants. So while eating the plants, the animal get the carbon, and carbon is continuously passed along through the food chain. So through the food chain, that is plants to animals, or again animals uh, to back into the nature after the death. So there is a continuous cycle of the passage of carbon from plants to animals, or animals to again plants in the form of carbon dioxide. So when animals eat the plants, they get the carbon, and carbon is continuously flowing or circulating or passed along through the food chain. The main way that carbon enters living is through the photosynthesis. When plants take the carbon dioxide and undergoes the process of photosynthesis and producing a food in the form of carbohydrate. So the main way or the main reaction or the reason for the entry of carbon in the living organism, that is the process of photosynthesis which is taking place in the plants. So plants are thus solely responsible for the entry of carbon in the living organisms. So the carbon dioxide, which is actually the inorganic substance or a gas, carbon dioxide is an inorganic gas, and which is trapped by the plants from the atmosphere or the respective habitat uh, during the process of photosynthesis. So in presence of sunlight, chlorophyll pigment, water and the carbon dioxide, plants undergoes the process of photosynthesis and producing food in the form of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, we are well known to the carbohydrates, which are containing main three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So these are the main atoms uh, will form a carbohydrate or the sugars in the plants. So, uh, carbohydrates containing uh, the main atom in the form of carbon, which is forming a chain of the carbon with the help of a covalent bonding between the carbon atoms to form a chain of carbon in a carbohydrates. So there are different type of carbohydrates which are commonly called as monosaccharides or the sugars, which may have um, uh, 3 carbon atom, 4 carbon atom, 5 carbon atom, 6 carbon atoms, etc. So there are different type of monosaccharides and which can form a sugar in the form of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are produced by the plants, and this is the way of the passage or entry of the carbon in the living organism. So on eating the plants, the animal getting the carbon. So carbon is continuously flowing or circulating through the food chain uh, to reach to different living organisms. So with the help of food chain, all living organisms getting carbon in their body in the form of complex molecules or the compounds, organic compounds in the living organisms, which are uh, performing various functions in the living organism, that is plants or animals. Most biological molecules, we are well known to the different biomolecules in the form of proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, nucleic acids, and certain other biological compounds or the molecules are made from the covalent combinations of 6 important elements whose chemical symbols are CHNOPS. These letters stand for the chemical abbreviations of the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and the sulfur. So, most of the biological molecules which are composed of these 6 important elements, which are uh, combined together with the by means of a covalent bonding and forming number of biological molecules in the living organism. Out of these 6, the 4 most important elements, which account for more than 99% of the atoms found in the living things, and these are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and the nitrogen. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, which are the main components of the biological molecules or the organic substances present in the living organism. So out of the most biological molecules, out of these 6 elements, 4 are more common. That is, 4 elements contributes the 99% of the atoms in the living organism, and these are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and the nitrogen. Biological molecules or biomolecules are built by joining atoms through the covalent bonds. Biological molecules or the biomolecules are built or formed by joining atoms, by binding atoms through the covalent bonds of the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and the sulfur. So these are the 6 important elements found among the most of the biological molecules, and among which 4 contributes 99% of the composition of the uh, atoms in the biomolecules in the living organisms, and they are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Why is carbon so special? Why is carbon so special? And there are following reasons for the speciality of the carbon in the living organisms. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. The first and most important reason for becoming a carbon as a special atom in the living organism, that is, it is having 4 valence electrons in the outer shell. Carbon has a valency of the 4, or carbon has 4 valence electrons in the outer shell, and thus carbon can form up to four bonds with other atoms. So carbon can form a bonds, four bonds or the bonds with the other atoms due to presence of four valence electrons. Due to presence of four valence electrons in the outer shell of the carbon, carbon can form up to four bonds or the four bonds with other atoms, and this allows carbon to form lots of different type of structures. So this allows the four valence electrons which are present in the outer shell of the carbon, which enable the carbon to form up to four bonds or four bonds with the other atoms, and this allows carbon to form lots of different type of structures and molecules, all with different functions. So different type of molecules or different structures can be formed in the form of organic biomolecules in the living organisms, and which are performing various functions in the living organisms. Carbon can form long chains. Carbon can form a long chains or ring structures. Carbon can form a long chains or the backbones in the form of a long chain, linear chains, or the ring structures, which can be thought as the basic skeletons of the organic molecules to which groups of other atoms attached. So carbon can form either long chains or the ring structures which can form the skeletons of organic molecules, which can form a skeletons or a backbone of organic molecules to which groups or the atoms of the other type are attached. Organic and inorganic molecules and the functional groups. Organic or inorganic molecules and the functional groups. So carbon sorry carbon is having different type of functional groups. So organic or inorganic molecules, so whatever the organic molecules or the inorganic molecules containing carbon, and can also have the number of functional groups. So organic refers to the molecules containing a carbon skeleton bonded to hydrogen bond atoms. Organic substances are the organic molecules containing a carbon skeleton or a carbon backbone bonded with a hydrogen bonds. Bonded with a hydrogen bonds. So organic refers to the molecules containing carbon skeleton bonded to hydrogen bond, and inorganic refers to a carbon dioxide and all other molecules without carbon. Inorganic refers to carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is an inorganic substance or inorganic gas, and all molecules without carbon are called as inorganic substances. So organic and inorganic molecules and the functional groups. So organic refers to the molecules containing carbon skeleton bonded to hydrogen bond or hydrogen bond atoms. Organic refers to the molecules containing a carbon skeleton or the backbone, either in the form of chain or the ring, bonded to hydrogen, bonded to hydrogen bond atoms. And inorganic refers to carbon dioxide, and all other molecules without carbon are called as inorganic. Why is carbon so important in biologically molecules? Why is carbon so important in a biologically important molecules? Why is carbon so important in biologically important molecules, that is lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, or the nucleic acids? The carbon atom is key. The important statement, argument, or a property of the carbon, that is the carbon atom is a key, and carbon is versatile because it has 4 electrons in the outer shell. Due to presence of 4 valence electrons in the outer shell of the carbon, it becomes a versatile and is stable by forming up to 4 bonds. So, due to presence of 4 valencies or 4 valence electrons in the outer shell of the carbon, it becomes versatile because of its 4 valence electrons in the outer shell, and these 4 valence electrons are capable of forming 4 bonds with other atoms to form a stable compound. And thus carbon becomes stable the carbon becomes stable by forming up to 4 bonds, and these bonds may be a single bond, double bond, or the triple covalent bond. So carbon atom will form the 4 different bonds or the bonding patterns with the other atoms to form a complex or a stable molecule by forming either single bond or the double bonds or the triple bonds in the form of covalent bonding to form a stable compounds or the biomolecules, and this is because of presence of 4 valence electrons in the outer shell and capable of forming 4 bonds with the other atoms to form a stable molecule or the stable biological compound. So this results due to presence of 4 valence electrons. The carbon can form 4 different bonds or 4 type of bonds. Covalent bonds may be single, double, or triple with other atoms to form organic molecules, and thus organic molecule formed can assume or acquire a complex shapes, maybe in the form of branches or the chains or rings or sheets or the helixes like DNA helix or the chains. So, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids or the carbohydrates, which are the complex biomolecules which are formed due to presence of the carbon backbone in them. So, carbon atom is a key. The carbon atom is key, and carbon is a versatile because of its 4 valence electrons in the outer shell, and the carbon can form the 4 different type of bonds, covalent bonds with other atoms, either single, double, or triple covalent bond with other atoms, and thus forming a complex organic molecule with a variable shapes, that is either in the form of branchings just like a glycogen structure, or chains, maybe linear chains of the carbohydrates, or the ring form of the carbohydrates or the proteins, maybe primary, secondary, tertiary proteins, lipids, then complex carbohydrates or polysaccharides like cellulose, starch, then cellulose, starch, glycogen. These are the complex carbohydrates or polysaccharides. So these can form a branches, chains, rings, or sheets and helices like RNA or DNA helix. Then functional groups in organic molecules. Carbon is the carbon atom is a key, and it is very important in the biological molecules. The first reason, that is a carbon atom is a key due to presence of 4 valence electrons in the outer shell and can form a 4 bonds, covalent bonds, maybe single, double, or triple with other atoms to form a complex organic molecules or the compounds in the living organisms. Then secondly, the functional groups. Carbon atom is having functional groups. It can capable or it can form a functional groups in the organic molecules, and these functional groups in organic molecules, functional groups in organic molecules are less stable. The functional groups in the organic molecules are less stable than the carbon backbone and are more likely to participate in the chemical reaction. So only due to presence of the less stable functional groups, only due to presence of less stable functional groups in the organic molecules, the organic molecules or the compounds can get involved in the different chemical reactions. So functional groups in the organic molecules are less stable than the carbon backbone and thus are more likely to participate in the chemical reactions. So the role of carbon in the chemical reaction is very important. The role of carbon in the chemical reaction is very important in the organic molecules. So among the organic molecules which are having the less stable functional groups, due to presence of less stable functional groups in the organic molecules, will get participated in the number of chemical reactions. Then these functional groups of the organic molecules also determine the characteristics and the chemical reactivity of the organic molecules. So functional groups in the organic molecules determine the characteristics and the chemical activity or the chemical reactivity of the organic molecules. So reactivity or the chemical action, chemical activity or the chemical reactivity of the organic molecules is also due to the functional groups present in the organic molecules. So less stable functional groups in the organic molecules are very important so as to get participated or involved in the chemical reactions. So whatever the organic molecules having functional groups which are less stable and thus getting involved in the number of chemical reactions in the cell or in the living organisms, then these functional groups of the organic molecules also help in determining the characteristics and chemical reactivity or chemical reactivity of the organic molecules. So this is the uh, diagrammatic presentation representing the global carbon cycle. So this is a complex chart or a diagram representing the global carbon cycle. So whatever the amount of carbon, so this particular chart represents the amount of carbon, quantity of the carbon present in the nature, the amount of carbon, total amount of the carbon present in the different parts or the components of the nature or the environment, that is atmosphere, lithosphere or hydrosphere, together will form the environment around us. So whatever the total amount of the carbon, total amount of the carbon present in the nature and how it is cycling or circulating through the different activities of the nature. So there is a continuous uh, passage or the rotation or the cycling of the carbon from one part or one component of the environment to the other component of the environment, and this represents the total global carbon cycle, the total global carbon cycle through the different activities. So we will try to explain or we will try to understand the a quantity of carbon, the quantity of the carbon which passes through the different activities of the nature through a global carbon cycle from one compartment of the component of the environment to the other, or maybe from living to non-living. Maybe the passage of carbon from living organisms to non-living things, living things to the non-living things of the, or biotic to abiotic components, biotic to abiotic, or again from abiotic to biotic component of the environment. So there is a continuous cycle or the passage of the carbon. So we'll try to explain these things, that is a passage of carbon from one, that is one part or one component of the environment to the other, maybe abiotic to biotic or living to non-living. And the total amount of carbon presented, the presence of total amount of carbon present in the nature uh, with the units are gigaton. Here uh, we have used a unit to express, here the unit expressed to present the total quantity of the carbon in the nature or in the particular compartment, that is gigaton. So units are gigaton, units are gigatons of the carbon, and 1 gigaton is equivalent to 1 gigaton is equivalent to 1 billion metric tons. 1 gigaton is equivalent to 1 billion metric tons, or is equal to 10 raised to 15, is equal to 10 raised to 15 G or gigaton. So uh, this is the unit. This is the unit to express the amount of carbon. The gigaton or capital GT, gigaton represents the unit. Gigaton, capital GT, represents the unit to express the total amount of carbon in the nature. So units are gigatons of the carbon, unit used to express the quantity of carbon in the nature, that is gigaton, and 1 gigaton is equal to 1 billion metric tons, 1 billion metric tons. So here there is a cycling or passage of the carbon cycle from one compartment of the nature to the other. So, the environmental compartments such as atmosphere, for example, atmosphere consisting of 750 gigaton of the carbon. So, atmosphere, in the atmosphere, the total quantity of carbon is about 750 GT, 750 gigaton carbon amount or the quantity present in the atmosphere. Then surface oceans contain about 970 GT of the carbon, 970 gigaton of the carbon. Deep oceans containing 38,000 gigaton of the carbon. Then sedimentary rocks containing about 5 crores of the 5 crore gigatons of the carbon. Then out of this sedimentary component or composition of the about 5 crore gigaton of the carbon, there is a subduction or the passage of carbon, that is 0.6 gigaton, 0.6 gigaton of the carbon, 0.6 gigaton of the carbon can pass from sedimentary rocks to the mantle, and from this mantle the carbon will pass upward to the atmosphere into the atmosphere through the volcanic eruptions. So volcanic eruptions can cause the passage of 0.6 gigaton of the carbon, 0.6 GT of the carbon from sedimentary rocks or mantle to the atmosphere. So out of these 750 gigatons of the carbon of the atmosphere, 110 110 GT, 110 GT of the carbon can pass from the atmosphere and is trapped by the land biota or the plants for the process of photosynthesis. So, for the process of photosynthesis, about 110 gigaton of the carbon is used by the plants or the land biota from the atmosphere. So out of 750 GT of the carbon of the atmosphere, 110 GT of the carbon is used by the plants for the process of photosynthesis. And the land biota or the plants contains about 610 GT, 610 GT of the carbon in the form of plants. Then about 50 gigatons or the GT of the carbon is passing from the animals to the atmosphere through the respiration. So the respiratory activities or the respiration process among the animals can release about 50 gigaton of the carbon into the atmosphere. Then the litter, that is a garbage or the plant materials in the form of litter, can contain about 60 gigatons of the carbon. Litter fall or the plant source of the plants or animals that will form a litter layer or a garbage layer, humus layer on the soil containing about 60 gigatons of the carbon. And the soil or the lithosphere or the earth surface or the earth or a land contains about 1580 gigatons of the carbon. So this particular carbon, that is a gigaton, 1580 gigatons of the carbon present in the soil. So out of this, again 59.4 gigatons from the soil also, the carbon is released into the atmosphere through the process of respiration, that is 59.4 gigatons. 59.4 gigatons of the carbon is again released back into the atmosphere through the process of respiration. Then farming, then runoff, that is 0.6 gigatons, about 0.6 gigatons of the carbon is flowing from the soil to the seas and the oceans or to the waters. 0.6 gigatons of the carbon can run off from the soil to the water to the surface oceans, which is containing 970 gigatons, surface oceans containing 970 GT of the carbon, surface oceans containing 970 gigatons of the carbon. So for the source of this 970 gigaton carbon of the surface oceans, that might be from the atmosphere, that is 90 gigatons, about 90 gigatons of the carbon, 90 gigatons of the carbon from the atmosphere reaches to the ocean, and this process is a diffusion. So diffusion of the carbon from the atmosphere into the surface ocean, that is about 90 GT. So about 90 GT of the carbon from the atmosphere get diffused into the surface water of the ocean through the process of diffusion. Then at the same time, about 90 gigatons of the carbon can reach or can be released into the atmosphere through the process of diffusion. So there is a passage of about 90 gigatons of the carbon from the atmosphere to the surface ocean, or from ocean to atmosphere, back into the atmosphere. The same quantity of the carbon, that is 90 gigatons of the carbon, can be diffused from the atmosphere to oceans or ocean to the atmosphere. Then the ocean biota, surface uh, carbon, surface ocean carbon, that is from 970 gigatons, about 10 gigatons of the carbon from surface ocean can provided to the ocean biota or the plants or the animals. So whatever the plants and animals present in the seas and oceans will get about 3 gigatons of the carbon, 3 gigatons of the carbon content or present in the ocean biota. So ocean biota containing 3 gigatons of the uh, carbon. So from this, again, the 10 gigatons of the 10 gigatons of the carbon can reach into the deep oceans. So there is again upwelling or downwelling, upwelling and downwelling of the 96.2, downwelling, upwelling and downwelling. So downwelling of the 96.2 gigaton carbon from surface oceans to the deep oceans, or upwelling of 105.6 gigaton of the carbon from deep oceans to the surface oceans. Similarly, there may be the passage of sedimentation or the carbon, zero point 0.6 gigatons of the carbon atom, carbon from the deep oceans to the sedimentary rocks. Then, so this is what about the passage or cycling of the carbon through the different components, that is biotic and abiotic components of the soil, water or the atmosphere, together with the biotic community, that is plants and animals. There is a continuous passage of carbon from one part to the other part of the nature or a globe. Then about 9 gigatons of the carbon can pass from the sedimentary rocks to the atmosphere through the fossil fuel burning. Fossil fuel burning. So numbers next to flows are the approximate annual flows in the gigaton per year. So whatever the numbers mentioned or represented in the respective part or the compartment of the atmosphere, hydrosphere or the lithosphere, that is environment, surrounding environment or the atmosphere, then uh, water bodies in the form of oceans, surface oceans or deep oceans, or the land, that is the soil, together with the sedimentary rocks and the mantle of the part of the earth. So there is a definite amount, approximate amount of the carbon present in the respective component or the compartment of the environment, and there is a passage of the carbon from one part of the compartment of the environment to the other through the various processes such as photosynthesis, respiration, burning, then diffusion, upwelling or the downwelling, then fossil fuel burning or the volcanic eruptions. So these are the various um, uh, activities. These are the various activities. Maybe photosynthesis, respiration, burning, runoff, then farming, then fossil fuel burning or the diffusion of carbon, uh, diffusion of the carbon from the atmosphere to the ocean water, or upwelling or downwelling of the carbon from surface oceans to the deep oceans, or the sedimentation or subduction or volcanic eruptions, or fossil fuel burning. So these are the some of the important activities which are happening in the environment in the different uh, compartments or the components of the environment uh, of the globe or entire universe. So this is what the diagrammatic presentation representing the movement or the passage of the carbon through a carbon cycle. So this is the chart representing the global carbon cycle, and the numbers presented in the respective compartments or in the part of the globe or environment in the form of gigatons of the carbon. So numbers next to the flows are the approximate annual flows or the annual flow or passage or the cycle of the carbon in the form of approximate number in the form of gigatons per year. So this is what about the global carbon cycle. Carbon as a cycle. Carbon as a cycle. Carbon is important because it is a key element in a vital nutrients like fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and the nucleic acids like DNA, which make up the living things. So the carbon is very important. Carbon is very important atom or element because it is a key element. Carbon is very important because it is a key element found in a vital nutrients, found in a vital nutrients such as fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and the nucleic acids. These are the important biomolecules as we have explained earlier in the form of proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, or the nucleic acids which are present in the cell or in the living organism. And for this reason, all the living things, for this reason, all the living things on the earth, that is plants, animals, or the microorganisms, all living things on the earth are called as carbon-based life forms. Carbon-based life forms. So these are the different pictures representing variety of organisms, that is invertebrates and the vertebrates present in the atmosphere or on the land or in the water resources, but are formed commonly of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and nucleic acids because of presence of a carbon, important carbon atom or the element in them. So all these forms, which are mainly composed of these biomolecules, that is proteins, fats, lipids, or nucleic acids, and containing the important component, one of the important component or a material in the form of carbon, and thus are called as carbon-based life forms. So, and in other picture we can see a cycle of carbon representing the circulation or the cycle of the carbon, that is carbon dioxide in an atmosphere. Carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere, which will then be trapped by the plants in the form of carbohydrates, that is organic compound in the plants. So carbon dioxide which is used by the plants for the process of photosynthesis and thus forming a organic compound in the form of carbohydrates in the plants, from where these can be supplied, these organic compounds can be supplied to the animals for the food purpose. So the organic compounds of the plants which are then passing or supplied or reaches to the organic compounds in the animals, from where these are again uh, pass back in the form of carbon dioxide through the process of respiration or decomposition back into the atmosphere. Similarly, the organic compounds of the plants can pass below in the petroleum products or in the coal or in the carbonates in the form of carbonates in water or that can then be transformed into in the form of limestone. So uh, pass carbon can pass from atmosphere to the plants, then to the different components in the earth, in the water, that in the water these are in the form of uh, carbonates in the water. These are carbon is in the form of carbonates and which can directly pass from atmosphere to water or diffuse into the water and can be transformed into a carbonates in the water which is then transformed into a limestone, or even the carbon dioxide which reaches into the plants during the process of photosynthesis and then can form a coal. So plants can be transformed into a coal containing carbon, or plants can be transformed into the petroleum products in the soil, or can be provided, plants can be provided to the animals as a food, from where this can be digested in the body or metabolized in the body, and can again carbon is expelled out from the animals through the respiration or through the process of decomposition, or some of the carbon can be retained in the body of living organisms. Then from these living organisms the carbon can be transformed into uh, inorganic carbonates in the form of cell or in the form of bones. Cells or the bones of the living organisms can contain the inorganic carbonates in the form of cells or the bones. So this is what uh, the diagrammatic representation of the carbon cycle. So carbon is very important. At the end we can see the carbon is very important in the life. Carbon is very important in the life of all plants and animals, so as to form the plants and animals or the biotic component of the environment, and again which is very important for the growth, survival, propagation, whatever the activities performed by the plants and animals are only due to the carbon. And thus, carbon is very important or a versatile element found among the living organisms or even in the non-living entities, that is biotic and abiotic component of the environment containing carbon is very important for the life. So this is what about the uh, importance of the carbon in the nature, or importance of carbon in the biologically important molecules, that is proteins, lipids, carbohydrates or the nucleic acids, as they are forming important biological molecules uh, not only for the formation or the building or of the living organisms, but are also important for the uh, proper functioning of the living organisms as such. So carbon is very important in biologically important molecules in the living organisms. So carbon playing a key role in the living organisms in the form of biologically important molecules due to presence of its physical or chemical features or the properties in the form of its valency, that is four of the four valency uh, of the carbon or functional groups which are important for the formation of the complex uh, organic or inorganic molecules of the living organisms. So this is what about the importance of the carbon in the biologically important molecules in the living organisms. So with this we'll stop here, and next time we'll continue the next topic. Thank you.